G'day, how are we all? No, I'm not from Australia. Warriors of Attraction is back with another installment, and today we're going to be talking about manic depression. Now, for people that don't know what manic depression is, well, you're going to find out. So please don't go anywhere. I'm going to go straight into the video. Obviously, we don't hold rights to this. It's called This Is Not the End. But please share this in awareness, and yeah, you're going to love it.
I want you to know that no matter where you are in life, no matter how low you have sunk, no matter how bleak your situation, this is not the end. This is not the end of your story. This is not the final chapter of your life. I know it may be hard right now, but if you just hang in there, stick it out, stay with me for a little while, you will find that this tough moment will pass. And if you are committed to using this pain, using it to build your character, finding a greater meaning for the pain, you will find that in time, you can turn your life around and help others going through the same struggles. The world right now is in the middle of a mental health crisis. It's estimated almost half the population suffers from depression at some stage throughout their life. Rather than join the queue, it's important we learn why we get down and then how we can change it. Because believe it or not, we create our own negative feelings, and we can also ensure that we turn our lives around and be a positive change for others. The reason anyone gets depressed always comes down to the consistent thoughts we think and the consistent beliefs we hold. Let me say that again. The reason anyone gets depressed always comes down to the consistent thoughts we think and the consistent beliefs we hold. The point here is that anyone that is depressed is so because there is an external factor that didn't materialize in their life. They have lost something outside of their control, or don't have something that is out of their control. In school, we are taught how to get a job, but no one teaches us how to live in a state of happiness. No one teaches us how important our conscious and unconscious thoughts and associations are. Is our happiness not worth more than a job? Yes, it is. And before you say happiness won't pay my bills, happiness will pay your bills. When you realize you will be 10 times more energized, focused, and take positive action in your life, when you first choose to develop yourself as a priority and then get to the stuff of the world. I've seen some people who many would consider to have it all in their life because they thought they were not good enough. A thought, a belief within them told them they were not worthy. These people that many were jealous of, many envious of, were not good enough. You must value yourself enough to take the time every single day to work on you, to engage in something that will ensure you are a positive influence on the world. This, of course, doesn't mean life will suddenly be perfect. The same life challenges will show up, but if your mind is strong, if your mind is at peace, your reaction to the challenging times will be very different. Your reaction will be, how can I make this work? Not why is this happening to me? And then others will look to you, not with pity, but with hope. Because your strength will become their hope, their strength. You really can be that powerful. You can ditch the victim story. You can leave the pain behind and focus on how you will react next. How you will react positively. Read, Read all you can read to get your mind in a positive place. Take steps to ensure you will be in a better position next time. Whatever pain you are suffering from, how you can ensure it won't show again. Take little steps, and soon you will be at the top of the staircase. Don't give up. You are worthy. You are more than worthy. You deserve to experience how great life can be, and you owe it to the world to be that positive change for others, to inspire others who will look to you and say, he did it, she did it, and I can do it too.
Woohoo! And now I'm going to bring my co-host, who's actually going to share a poem for the very first time, Andrea Evans.
Hey.
Hello, darling.
Hey, everybody. How you doing? Hope you're
I'm
all
alright.
having a wonderful day.
How are you?
I'm doing good. I am. I'm in a good place. You know, we have our ups and downs, like we were discussing, but today's a up. This moment, I should say, is a up moment.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And I feel like that was, I'm not going to say a trigger, I'm going to say that's more of a motivational video saying, let's kick ass.
Yes, I feel it. And I wanted you to know that the poem that I'm going to share today, I will be also reciting to music by Drake.
Oh.
But I'm not going to have music today, but I will on August 5th when I present it. And
Right.
it's called, and you're the one with these wonderful videos that inspired me to write this poem, because we did talk about how to live a life of purpose.
Yes.
Would you like me to share it now?
Of course, I'm going to give you the platform as well, so see you soon.
Thank you. All right. Well, hi, everyone. I'm thankful to be here today and in good spirits to share my poem, How to Live a Life of Purpose. How to live a life of purpose. Find meaning that serves us. Utilize positive transference. Savor every moment upon us. Appreciate each blessed occurrence. Live out our passions is our quest. How to live a life of purpose. Stop training ourselves. We're worthless. Be brave without mental disturbance. We all possess wonderful talents. Stay driven, focused, and surgent. In stinking thinking, shifting mindset. Accept that this life is not a test. We have the power to manifest. Bringing forth blessings enormous. How to live a life of purpose. Focus on lessons of our family crest. Ancestral teachings are the best. Stay driven, relentless, and momentous. Loving our work is quite stupendous. Causing our efforts to be dauntless. Giving back in service lifts our status. How to live a life of purpose? Rebuke all serpents. Emerge the hot furnace. Above the ashes, rise as a phoenix. Just like a genius. Never settle for less. Being auspicious. Evolution prosperous. Characterized in success. Living a life of purpose. Thank you.
I love that.
Thank you.
I do. I love that. Wow.
I felt it. I definitely felt it.
Yeah.
Like I said, watching that video with you and you shared with all of us, that was something that was positive that I could cling to, because who doesn't want to live a life of purpose and feel like you have purpose in your life?
Exactly.
And it gave us some ideas on how to do that. So I just took what I know and made it into a poem. Thank you, Adam, for the inspiration.
You're most welcome. But I can't take all the credit, though, can I? Because you wrote the poem.
But you inspired it.
I know. I know, and Kerry is saying, well done. Your mum is saying, yes, yes. Mary, beautiful. Yeah, they're all here. Right.
Hi, everybody.
Our
Good to see you
guest,
all here.
our
Thank you.
guest, our Canadian sister, Miss Liz. She is an absolute diamond. She really is. She's got her own show. She doesn't serve a cup of tea, not literally, but she serves better tea, shall I say. There's not one cup of tea on this planet, in the universe, that matches up to her serving tea. So, for people that don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to let Liz explain it all and who she is. And after this, go over to her channel as well. It's called Miss Liz's Tea Making a Difference or something like that. I probably got it wrong. Yeah, she's laughing in the green room. So all I've got to say is get ready to be corrected, Adam. I'll see you shortly. When it lets me go on the videos. There you go. I'm going to remain quiet. I've got it wrong, haven't I?
Yeah, you have.
Yes.
Set him right, Miss Liz.
It's Miss Liz making a difference one cup of tea at a time.
Right, so I got the words right, but just in the wrong order.
Yeah.
Hey, give me some.
But the Facebook page is right. It is Miss Liz's Tea Times Making a Difference.
There you go. There you go. There you go. So I think I should get half a point for that one.
I'll give you a 0.5.
Even better. Even better. Welcome.
Well, thank you for having me
Yes,
again,
welcome.
guys.
I
Good
like
to
it.
have you.
It is an honor to be here again.
It is. It is. Second time. I'm trying to think who you was on with last time.
Caroline.
That's it. Yeah, Caroline, our former warrior who's no longer with us. Yes, your mum said, Andrea, that she loves the theme song. It gives her energy. It must be ours.
Hey.
It's either yours or mine. I don't know. Who knows?
Maybe both.
Maybe both. Yes. Right, Lizzie. Who are you? And where do you come from and all that? And what do you do to help people?
Oh, he's
Start with that.
throwing them all at me at once, are you?
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
I'm just an everyday lady who wants to make a difference, who has a dream and a passion to show that we can create a better life for each and every one of us around the world, not just in my country, but globally, for humanity through tea. And like Adam said, I serve tea different, not the beverage. Yes, I hold a cup of tea in here, but that's not what I serve. I serve humanity. Each of us have a story. Each of us have a difference. And we all can teach educational awareness through the journeys and challenges that we've overcome in life.
Brilliant.
And where I come from a northern little town called Hearst, Ontario. So I'm not originally from Cornwall, Ontario. I'm from Hearst, Ontario. So it's a little northern town. Population, I believe, now is about 12,000 people. So yeah, so it's a really small community. It was French and English. So I was raised bilingual. I don't speak French very much, but I can understand enough to stay out of trouble. So that's who I am.
Andrea?
What?
I know you want to answer that.
Answer what?
I don't know. But anyway, right, manic depression. Now, obviously, Andrea asked a very good question before you popped into the room, and that was when she'd done her research. Is manic depression a form of bipolar?
No, completely
Okay.
different.
Why?
Well,
There's so many different forms and branches and labels from mental health, right? And we all want to
mhm,
try and put it all in the same pot, but we all each have our own individual different separations. Manic depression, I've been diagnosed with it since the age of 12. So what it is, it's an up and it's a down. So it's like a roller coaster. Like I keep telling everybody, like, Liz, how are you doing today? I'm a roller coaster. You get what you get. Like if you get good, you get good. If you get bad, you get bad. Like I can't tell you what I'm going to be from the time I wake up to the time I go to bed. And it's not because I choose to be that way. It's just the chemicals in my brain say, hey, today we're just going to give her a little loop and we're going to go down a little. And then I'm up. Uh, as many of my followers seen yesterday, I had a up and down day. Today I'm still a little up and down, not as bad as yesterday. Yesterday was a waterfall. It was a cry day most of the day. Then it was laughing, and then it was I wanted to break things, and I wanted just to release. I There was just like it was a heavy load inside of me that needed to come out. And today I'm just a little lighter, but I'm still. Before we came on live, I had my breakdown. And like I told Adam, I can't guarantee that I won't cry on the show. I am who I am, and I don't try to put a mask on to hide who I am. I'm an everyday woman who struggles, and I try to do the best I can for what I have and the situation that I'm in. You know, I wasn't given a nice hand when I was little, so that has a lot to do with my mental health as well. And again, like I said, I was diagnosed at 12, and I was only diagnosed because I came out with being sexually molested by an uncle and a godfather. So and then they diagnosed why I was having the mood swings, why I was having going up, going down, laughing, giggling in corners, rocking myself, humming. So that's when I'm in the depressive state. When I'm in a manic state, I want to shop, I want to overeat, I want to buy, I just want. And then when I come down, I'm like, well, why did I buy all of this stuff for? What do I need it for? What, why did I need those hundreds of scarves that are in my closet when 10 scarves that have done the same thing? But that's just what it is. It's an up and down. It's a roller coaster. So
Hmm.
wow. I must say, when I did my research, it was Dr. Deborah Fulgham Bruce, and she wrote bipolar disorder was formerly called manic depression. So I don't know if the U.S. if that they're changing our our book to to make it that way here, but I was like, huh, all the research I did, that's all that popped off was
well, that's what they
bipolar
do, right? Is
disorder.
they just kind of play with the different labels and the different thing. Okay, she checks off here, here, here. Like I was diagnosed with 28 different disorders, and then they finally started knocking them off. No, she doesn't have this. No, she doesn't have this. And then I was finally diagnosed with only 8 out of the 28. So 20 of those disorders that they actually diagnosed me with, they actually took away. And they're like, that's not what she has. This girl has just gone through a lot of stuff. She has gone through a lot of trauma. My body was on alert all the time growing up. I never knew when the abuse was coming. I never knew when the abusers would be around me. So my body was on guard all the time. So it caused the mind and the brain to chemically just shut down and go into numbness and go into that phase of, okay, is it going to happen today? Is it going to be right now? Is it going to be later? So you're on guard, right? You might be playing with your dolls when you're a little girl, but then in the sideline, your uncle is gawking at you to say, okay, well, I'm coming in 20 minutes for you. You just never know when they're coming. So that's the lifestyle that I had. But I chose to take my pain and turn it around. And that's why I started the tea. And the tea was actually given to me when I was 4 by my Oma. For those that don't know what Oma means, it's my grandma. And she gave me a cup of tea and she said, I want you to sit and enjoy it. Well, when I drank the first cup, I drank it like really fast, like a little girl. And she said, no, we're going to try this again. And she was from Germany. So that, like, I thought she was mad at me. I thought I did something wrong. I was a very shy and quiet kid. Anybody that knows me from my past and knows me now, they're like, I don't know who Liz is now. That's not the Liz we know. All of my friends from back home, they're like, that's not Liz. This woman that is today is not the quiet, shy, on the side in the corner girl. She's the girl that says, hey, listen to me. I have something to say and I'm going to say it loud. And I'm not shouting. I'm just saying, pay attention. We need changes. We need to do changes. And there's a lot of broken systems out there, right? Especially with mental health, there's a lot of broken systems. We get misdiagnosed. We
Yeah.
get put on medication that we don't need. Then there's weight gain. There's self-image, body image with ourselves. We start self-doubting ourselves. So there's a lot of things that are related with the mental health, right? And I think it needs to be fixed. Like you said, Andrea, you looked up and it says bipolar. But if I go see my psychiatrist will say, no, you're not bipolar, you're manic depressive. But yet you're being told from the research you're getting that it is bipolar. So we're giving that, you know, in one country it's this, in another country it's this, and then you get all that confusion, right? So people are like, well, no, I do have bipolar. No, I do have manic depressive. No, I do have conversion disorder. And like Adam, when he first heard what I heard, gave him my diagnosis of conversion disorder, he wasn't even sure what that was. And the best way that they can diagnose it, and if you Google it, it says you're crazy. So I actually do have crazy papers. So if I do lose my shit on people, I have my papers to prove that I can lose my shit, you know? But conversion disorder is somebody who has gone to war, who has gone through trauma after trauma after trauma. There is just no stop. So it's like a soldier going to war and coming back. So that's what conversion disorder is. My body literally shuts down. It Some days I can't speak, some days I get twitches in my faces, sometimes my eyes will stay hangy. You'll see like it looks like I have a stroke in some of my pictures if you pay attention, right? And some days I can't walk. I have a club foot. Like I'm like the hunchback of Notre Dame. I'm hunched over. I have no control over my body. And it's not because I choose to live that way. It's just my brain runs my body. And I've just gotten to the point where, okay, today is what it is. If we're going to have a hard day, we're just going to have to get through this hard day. And if that means crying, we're going to cry. And if it means we have to yell, we yell because there's so much pain and so much confusion out there. But yet, when you turn to doctors and that, they just tell you take a pill. Well, a pill doesn't fix it. A 30-minute session does not fix the 12 hours of pain, the 12 hours of emptiness, the 12 hours of loneliness. So we really need to start fixing things. And like I was talking to Adam, because I talk to Adam quite often when I'm up and down. I talk to people who actually live it, who actually understand it, and who actually want the stigma to break. I
Yeah.
talk to Cynthia Mobley a lot. And as you can see, I have her. I'm not staying quiet anymore. I'm doing that because I respect what she's doing as well. She has a movement that is really dear to my heart too. She has her own story. And that's what we need to do is we need to start supporting each other. We need to start supporting all of the mental health warriors, and we need to start getting their stories out. And we
Yeah.
need to be open and honest. I'm here today, and tomorrow I have a tea time, and today I'm breaking down. Tomorrow will I break down during tea time? I don't know. I can't guarantee how I'm going to be. I try to be the best I can and do the best I can. But yeah, manic depressive is just a roller coaster, and I hate roller coasters. I'm scared of heights, so I really hate mental health. I really do. I hate it with a passion. I would not want this on anyone, not even my worst enemy out there. I would not want them to live with this.
No. No. Yesterday I was listening to someone called Eric Thomas, and he's a motivational speaker. And no, it weren't yesterday. It was this morning, and he actually stated that obviously you can't change the past. You can't. But whatever happened in the past, it's not our fault. It's not. We're not the problem with that. But what we can change is here and now. We can change that. It's up to us to find the solution.
And I
Yeah.
wouldn't change anything. Like I've been through a lot of stuff, and I wouldn't change a damn thing because
Mm.
that's who made me who I am today. And I'm very proud of who I am. Even when I'm having my up and downs, I'm very proud of who I am. Some days I have a harder time saying that I'm proud of myself, but I am proud of myself.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's gratitude right there.
Hmm.
Yes. Anything to add, Andrea?
I totally get, Miss Liz. I feel what you're talking about because I've been through some of the same experiences you have with the molestation and stuff, and I can totally see how that can affect our life ongoing. And in my situation, I've always looked at it like, no matter how hard I've tried, it just seemed like doors was always getting shut in my face, and the labels. I was afraid to be vulnerable and share my labels because I was afraid that that would hold me back even more. But here I am today, sitting on a podcast show with my lovely host, Adam, able to share my experiences and to learn so much from the different people that we interview. And Miss Liz, you're touching my heart. You're hitting me in the soul.
That's what I do.
Because
I serve strong tea.
girl, let me tell you, look, I feel that tea. I feel it. And you do, when you actually drink tea, the properties are healing for you from, what I've been taught. So keep healing, sister, and keep sending the message of healing because you help people like me to know it's okay to have those days. I was falling apart probably the last few days, but crying, I feel like the emotions come to leave.
Exactly.
We're getting them out.
And that's why there's a saying which we've said before and over, and we're going to keep saying it. It's okay not to be okay, but it's not okay to stay there.
Yep.
No,
Yes,
no.
I've learned that. Right, with manic depression, obviously we know it can affect anyone at any time, just anything, anytime. Does it affect equal, or does it affect a particular sex over another one?
I don't think it targets it targets a
A
sex, Adam.
particular thing?
I think it's both sexes and all ages. Like I was diagnosed at 12. I could have been diagnosed at 30 with the manic depressive, but I was diagnosed at 12. And I think I would have ever been diagnosed that young had it not been for the situation that had happened. I might have been maybe 20, 30 years later where I got diagnosed because my next bunch of diagnoses that I had was after I came out of the psychiatric ward I was the age of 21. And that's when they started diagnosing me with schizophrenia, multiple personality disorder, DID. I do have DID. I haven't split from my my other voices in since 2007. So I do hear them sometimes again coming back, and that's why I've talked to you about maybe going back on medication. But I'm looking at different resources before the medication. I want to look at tapping, and I want to look at art therapy, stuff like things that are going to keep the mind busy without the medication, because I'm very firm on not taking medication unless I really, really, truly have to. I I'm not telling people not to take medication because for some people it works. For me, it doesn't. It really zones me out. It really numbs me, and I become a different person with the medication. And I don't like that feeling of that numbness and no control, especially being a survivor of abuse. Not having that control is like re-traumatizing the body and the mind again because we don't have that control when we're being abused, right? So when I take a pill, that's how I feel. I feel like I'm being abused again. The pill is actually abusing me because it's numbing me.
Exactly, and this is what I've learnt. Hang on a minute, I'll just shut the door. Bear with.
Yeah, we're just walking off the camera.
No,
I just
no,
needed a
very
minute.
well.
This is
Very,
how
Me
life is, guys.
personally,
It's in and out, right? It's roller coaster.
it
It's up and
is.
down.
You
exactly.
know,
We're showing it
it
there.
is. I heard a bump, and so I just kind of my daughter, she has epilepsy, and so That's being, like you said, being on that, like I'm in the army, I'm waiting for the attack. You know what I mean? And so it's hard. It can be hard. It's difficult sometimes, but like you said, we can't stay there. We got to lift ourselves up out of it. So I apologize for my little absence.
Yeah, well,
Life happens.
going back to the medication, and obviously I'll get to Stella's comments in a minute because they're really powerful. Yeah, obviously I used to be addicted to medication growing up. I was in and out of hospital every 6 months because I was too much addicted to it. Did I have my stomach pumped? I have not got a clue. I probably did. But I'm seeing medication, like obviously this is what we are. If you need to take medication, take it. But if you don't, because we always think there's an alternative to taking medication. But if taking medication for the wrong reasons, say like depression, anxiety, whatever, you're just putting toxics into your body. It is. In my opinion, medication's bullshit. I'm just going to come out and say it. It's bullshit because it's basically electroconvulsive. That's what it is. It shocks your body. And that's what it is because it sends chemicals to your brain and it damages everything inside you. And that's
Well,
been
and
from it.
not all medication works, right? Because the doctors are giving us different medications. Okay, this works for this doesn't. But then if you look at the side effects of each of the medications, you're like, well, I already have enough issues with my body. You want to give me this pill and it's going to give me another 10 issues. Do I really want to take that pill? Do I really want to take, and a lot of them cause suicidal thoughts and we're already suicidal. So you're just increasing the suicidal thoughts. You just increase, and then the weight gain. So body image. And then you self-doubt yourself. Like, and then you're hard on yourself. Oh, how come I gained all this weight? How come I can't lose this weight? And it's not because you don't want to lose it. The medication actually stores it,
Mm.
because the chemicals have to go somewhere. So what do? They build fat muscle. There's so much behind it. And I think what we really need to start doing with mental health is we need to start really sharing our stories
Yeah.
authentically with integrity and be proud of who we are. I don't sit in my story and play poor me, poor me. I don't do that. I don't call out for pay attention to me, look at me. That's not what I do. That's not what I if anyone is watching me and knows me, that's not what I do. I reach out and I express how I am. I show you that roller coaster. I show you Miss Liz is struggling today. Please help me. And when I say I don't need a comment, I mean I don't need a comment. I just need you to sit and listen and just let me cry. Just let me express myself. And sometimes reading our own words actually helps us as well.
Yeah.
So if we post something on Facebook or Twitter or wherever we're going, we're actually helping ourselves because we don't care if you see it or not. We really don't, because at that time, our mind is shut off already. So your comments are not even affecting us. Your messages are not affecting us because we're already shut down. We're already gone. We're already in that state of depression. So you sending these comments of get out of it, grow up, pull it together, cheer up, you're not helping us. All you're doing is showing us, okay, we're already down. Why don't you just keep kicking us down? Because your positive comments are actually not doing anything for us because we're already down. Now,
Yeah.
if we're positive and we're happy, encourage us. Yes, I encourage everyone to spread love and peace and unity, but I don't encourage bashing and bullying and stuff like that. Mental health is a horror to live with. It is a horror story. Unless you're in that person's mind and that state, you do not understand that person.
Yeah.
You do not understand what they're going through. And when people say don't do something, don't do it. Just listen. We're so fast to respond or leave a comment or I love you. I know that I'm here for you. But then when you reach out to that person, they come up to you and they say, well, stop playing the pay attention card or, attention seeking card. That's
Mm.
not what I'm doing. But you
No.
offered to listen. And now I'm coming to you for you to listen. And you're telling me not to talk. That's exactly what you're telling me to do. You really don't want to hear my problems. You really don't want to hear the darkness. So when I'm a very straightforward person, I'm very blunt. A lot of people say, Miss Liz, you're so blunt that you're rude at times. And If I seem rude, I'm really sorry. That's not what I'm going for. I'm going for, we need to be real with each other. We need to start being honest with each other. People are hurting. People are dying. Suicide is serious. Did I have suicide thoughts yesterday? Hell yes, I did. Did I think that the world would be better without Miss Liz? Yes, I did. But I got up and I fought through it. And this is what we need to do, is we need to fight every day with our own bodies. We don't need to be fighting with one another. We need to be fighting with our own minds, our own bodies. We're fighting enough. Give us a break and just have some empathy for one another and share compassion. When someone says they don't need something, listen. Don't be so fast to respond or reply.
Yeah, and this is why I say just the words "Are you okay?" They are the least most speakable words anyone can actually ask. Not many people actually ask anyone if they're okay, but when they do, don't just stick with just the once, because you know damn well. Like right now, if I'm gonna ask you two if you're okay, of course you're gonna say yes. That's not true.
No, I'm
That's,
not. I'll tell
you
you
need
the
to
truth.
ask
You know I
again.
will.
You need to
You
ask
know I
again
will.
two, three more
Yes.
times.
If
Yes, that's
anybody
true
asks
though,
me if
Adam.
I'm okay and I say I'm okay, you better damn well check on me because I'm not okay. The
Exactly.
word
I'm not
the
gonna
word
say I'm
okay
okay.
is not a healthy word. We need to start looking at words. And this is what tea time is all about, is teaching education awareness, that we need to look at words differently. We need to look at people differently. And different is beautiful. Different is empowering. Different is inspiring. Different is motivating. This is what we need to start doing. We need to start expressing who we truly are. Drop the mask, drop the acts, and just be human. That's the only way we're going to change this planet. That's the only way we're going to change this world, is if we start being human beings. You know,
Thank
and like
you.
I said, I, I
Thank you so much.
I have my crazy paper. So if I lose my shit, I'm allowed to get away with it. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
I
This is
appreciate
no. Go on,
I
Andrea.
appreciate what you're I appreciate what you're saying. You brought tears to my eyes. And my mother, I saw in the comments when she was saying that we didn't cry because we were trying to appear to be tough. You know, it's okay to cry, and you give me the permission to continue, and you give me the inspiration to be the empathy and vulnerability warrior, because like you said, on my Facebook page, yeah, there's a lot of wonderful things happening in my life and I post those, but you know what, I've have the courage now to be able to go on there and say, hey, I'm not okay. I'm not
and I
okay
think that's
right
where we
now.
all need to get, right? Is when we need to say, you know what, today we're struggling, because that's what we're supposed to be, right? Social media is supposed to be a connection and support system. But everybody just wants to see happy, happy, happy. Well, the world's not happy, happy, happy. The world is hurting. The world is sad. So let's start being who we truly are. And I'm not saying everybody get depressed and everybody get down and put all negative thoughts. I'm saying be you. If you're struggling, I would want to know that you're struggling, so that I can support you. I can sit and I can listen to you, not respond and give you advice or tell you how to fix it, because that's not what we want. We want someone just to listen, you know? And
Yes.
I think Adam had put something up on his Facebook one time, and it said the words silence and listen. They're the same words, they're just different ways. And that's
Yeah,
what we need, right? Is we need the silence so you can listen. So when we ask for help, just be silent. It's okay to sit beside me. And if I want to cry and you just sit there and watch me cry, you're not hurting me. You're actually helping me because you're letting me release myself. You're letting me let it out. And that's what my grandma taught me was At the age of 4, she said, like, sit with that second cup of tea. She said, you need to reflect, recharge, and release. And that's what I do with my radio shows on Sundays is I sit and I reflect, recharge, and release through music, through fun facts, through jokes, through card readings and stuff like that. We can release and recharge and reflect our lives in positive ways through the pain. Take our pain and build strong building stones, and make a difference. And that's what I do is I just serve tea. Like, I'm just that crazy lady that serves tea. If you like my tea, come check my tea. If you don't like my tea, that's okay. Not everybody has to like my tea, because I don't want everyone to like my tea. Because if everyone is liking what you're doing something wrong. You're not being authentic. There's not one person that was loved by all. Not even Jesus. He wasn't loved by all. He got stones cast at him and stuff. God, everyone, why me, Lord? Why, So we need to really just be ourselves, be authentic, live with integrity. If you're going to do something, do it even when there's no one looking. I tell my kids this all the time. If you're just doing it because the crowd is there, don't do it. If you're doing it because it comes from the heart, then do it.
Mm.
And if you do something, you don't have to share it. Like, if you're feeding a homeless person, you don't need to take a picture to feed your ego. You fed a homeless person, feel in your heart that you felt that person. You made a difference in that person's life.
Yeah.
When we had the truckers convoy here, I actually sat and spoke with a woman who lived on the street for 5 years. And in that 5 years, she said she had never gotten so many hugs, so many, hey, how are you doing, in the time that was there. And I said, how did that make you feel? And she said, I felt accepted. I felt seen. And for 5 years on the street, she had not felt that way. But I didn't go and I put it on Facebook and say, oh, I just talked to a homeless person, and I took a picture with her. And, I don't do well with people who feed egos. I really don't. If that's what makes you feel a better person, to feed your ego, then you need to stay away from my table. You're not welcome at my table. I really want people to be authentic and honest. We all have hurt people. I have hurt people. Take ownership, take responsibility. I have mental health. I work on my mental health. That's what I expect everyone else to do. If you live with mental health, get the resources that works for you, not the resources that someone else tells you that will work. Because we all know our minds and our bodies the best. We know what works for us. For me, it's art, it's writing, it's music. It's not a pill.
Exactly.
And there's actual art therapy. I've done the research, I say it all the time. I utilize it in all the work that I do in our community. I bring it into the community. With COVID, who's not traumatized? So coming out when we can to events out in the park or outside at the Capitol. And that's what it's about for me. Bringing music. We come together and do line dances together to lift each other up in awareness of mental health, and embracing it and trying to make the changes necessary, like you were talking about with the labels, Miss Liz. Continue to work on our own mental health, for sure. Because if we
I
don't take care of
actually
ourselves,
had so
we
many
can't reach
labels given,
nobody.
right? Well, Andrea, it's like you said, right, with the labels. I actually had so many labels given to me growing up that I actually wrote a story called The Labels of the Jam. Because there's so many different jams out there, right? So why not take mental health and give them a jam jar? Like, put it all, add the sugar, add the cream, add the contents. Each jam is different. You're going to spread it different on your toast. That's what mental health is. We all spread differently. We all are different flavors. We're all different blends, Mental health is jam. I serve tea and jam go good together, And if you have like music that you would like to do, I've always wanted to do a tea and jam event. So anybody who's out there that wants to do some jamming, we could do some jamming,
I love jam. I don't like jelly. I like
No,
jam.
I don't like jelly either. I'm a jam girl.
Well, the thing is, I want to pick on a word you've picked up, Liz, and that is advice. Now, what I learned from the brilliant Alan Stevens, who's in Australia, if people that don't know him, he's the founder of the Campfire Project, and he's basically said that if you come across a therapist and all they want to do is give you advice, they're not there to listen. They're not there to help you. They're there to tell you what to do.
They're not supposed to give you advice.
And then once you find that out, get rid of them. They don't belong in your network, on your circle, and find someone else that actually will sit there and listen to you.
I remember having a counselor who her life was falling apart around her, and I happened to go in for my session, and she was telling me how she got arrested for DUI, and I mean, she was falling apart before me. I felt like I was supposed to be I guess I was the counselor that day. She's no longer working because, of course, like I said, her. So if you get that type of situation too, run, y'all, run. They shouldn't be giving you advice.
No.
And I have a bachelor's degree in social work, and that's one of the things that I heard over and over again. You don't give advice.
Yeah.
You give guidance.
Ourselves.
You can give tools
guidance,
and tips, and it's up to them to take it, right? When we're giving advice, we're actually telling people, you got to do this. You should do this. We shouldn't be shooting anybody. We should not. Here we go again, Miss Liz. Spill that tea.
Do it.
What
Billy
I'm
girl.
trying to say is that we can give tools and tidbits to people, but it's up to them. It's just like medication. We can give people medication, and it's up to them if it's right for them or not. And I'm going to say it out there because I know I'm going to get hit on this again. I'm not telling people to stop taking your medication. But if your medication is doing more harm to you than it is doing well for you, reconsider and get a second opinion, get a third opinion, get a fourth opinion. I've seen 29 doctors, and I'm only 48 years old. I've seen 8 psychiatrists, and each one of them always gives me a different diagnosis. So why can they not agree on the diagnosis? Because themselves are just doing a checklist. Okay, she comes off here, click, 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 click. And then I go to a different one, click, 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 click. Where I looked at a doctor when I was about to go into the psychiatric ward again at the age of 32. And my body had a mental shutdown. And that's when the last diagnosis came for the conversion disorder. Was my body shut down from my hips down. I had to learn how to walk again. I have a penguin walk. You don't see that because I'm sitting in a chair, but I do have a limp. My kids laugh at me sometimes because I kind of limp on the one side more than others. My nieces and nephews said, "Oh, Auntie's penguin's coming." There was little things, and they're kids, so they can get away with stuff like that. But adults, if you're going to do that to me, no, penguins bite. So, but it didn't stop me. It kept me going. So again, if the medication is not doing well for you and you feel that the diagnosis that you've been given and you feel it's not right, get a second, a third, a fourth opinion. You don't need to just say, okay, well, that's what the doctor told me. That's what I have. That doctor's a human being. That person can be making a mistake too.
I want to add to that. I really do, because what the doctor's giving you is their own perception. And if you have, what I always say is, if you're having a gut feeling, always freaking listen to it, because your gut is about 95% accurate. It is. And if you're having that feeling that something's just not right, get a second opinion. Go and see someone else. And I want to talk a little bit, give a bit of a heads up that you're talking about putting things in our system. Well, that basically is an opportunity about next week's show, when we're talking about what processed foods do to our mental health. There you go.
There's so much chemicals in that stuff, it's unreal. But
Yeah,
that's the easy way, right? That's where everyone goes, right? So
Yeah.
it's just like medication, right? And a lot of people will just automatically take that pill without even understanding the outcome of that pill,
Exactly.
or they get stuck on that pill. And then I can't live without that pill. I need that pill. I need my medicine. I need my medication. I'm not going to be
Mm-hmm.
straight because I don't have my pills. How about if you slowly graduate, take yourself off the medication, not have the medication as a final solution. Start actually working on your mental health. Start actually
Mm-hmm.
expressing and writing and understanding why you are this way, why your moods. Is there something in your life? Is there something in your relationship? Is there something in your environment, in your community, in your country that is setting you? You know, if you're living in a country that has wars and explosion, your body's on trauma, so it's going to affect your mental health. You know, if you're living in a country that is form of dictation, well, then you're also going to have that. You know, but it really is our job to be the advocate of ourselves. We really
Yes.
need to start being advocates of ourselves. If it doesn't feel right, don't do it, you know? And
Exactly.
don't just
That makes
agree because they
sense.
have the certifications, because they are human beings. They make mistakes.
I
Exactly.
ask a lot of questions. I do when it comes to any doctor that I deal with. And I won't allow them to cause and, put their atrogeny on me, whatever their beliefs are, what they think is wrong with me. And I just want to say, Mommy, I hope you're okay. And it's okay to cry. And if I was there, I'd hug you. And I hope that you got some out of you and that you're back and you're getting more information from us so that we
Cheers.
can continue to heal together, because that's what we're about. That's what this show is about.
And
Yeah.
I have that tendency of making people cry, so because
Well, you
that's what I
made
do.
me
Is
have some tears, and that's okay.
I'm a strong T. I really want people to see that I have a lot of pain, but I have a lot of strength. My pain is my strength. You know, let's
Hmm.
start looking at pain in a different way as well.
I agree.
That's right. I agree
I
with
agree.
that too.
Yeah. Speaking of pain, I'm just going to quickly go on my phone because I've actually got a picture surrounding that. Let me just need to find it now. I don't know where it is, but it actually states something to do with pain, but I can't find it. But yeah, it's about new life or something like that, new beginnings.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I could feel you there. I kind of felt like that's where you were going, Adam, on
it
that
is.
on that track of pain. It's a way through. It's a breakthrough. It's a breakthrough. The pain takes you to the other side. But crying is a release. It's a way to release. Listening to music. If you need to cry, listen to a song that touches you so you can get them tears out of you. Draw. It makes you happy. Wear colorful clothes. That makes
Yeah,
me happy. Um, it's like
But
being your
that's it,
own
right, Andrea?
sunshine.
Like you're saying, Andrea, it's what makes us feel good. So
Mhm.
we know ourselves. So if bright clothes makes us feel good, do it. Who cares what anyone thinks? I tell that to my kids all the time. I don't care if people like me and they're like, Mom, don't do that. Mom, don't say that. I'm like, I really don't care. I care about humanity, but I don't care that someone doesn't like my shirt or doesn't like the way I walk or the way that I talk. I'm not out physically hurting people. I'm saying just be you. I'm a
mm,
mess and I'm a roller coasters and I am who I am. I'm a lady who has gone through a lot of stuff, but I haven't let it stop me. Uh, you know,
Mm-mm.
if you check my bio, you check my website, you check all of my social media, you will see that I am not a woman that plays the victim card. I am not the woman that says, "Oh, well, I want to just everybody like me, everyone love me, please love me." I don't do that. I don't
exactly.
want I
I
don't
don't
want
want
people to.
sympathy.
I know I don't.
I don't
I
want
don't.
sympathy. I
I
want
don't
your
want it.
empathy. If you can have empathy in that, when I'm going through it. Sympathy. I don't want
Exactly.
you to feel sorry for me, because that's what stigmatized me from even wanting to share or having the courage to share about my mental illness and the mental
Yeah.
health labels that have been put on me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I found the
Mm.
pain now. I found it, and it actually means that. Hang on.
Oh, I,
Plan
I remember seeing that. Yeah.
again,
Plan again intelligently, new life. That's what it
new
means.
life. Okay.
That's what it means.
I
Plan
love it.
again intelligently. There you go. Because we've all got that, and people are very reluctant to actually expressing of how powerful we actually are.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Mm-hmm.
right, Liz. Thanks for that. Yep, Stella's come out of a cocoon, and she's a beautiful butterfly. Yep, and she's raising one as well. So there you go. She hasn't
That's
picked
right,
up on.
mommy. You're a beautiful butterfly. We're
Yep.
all, that's what it is. We go in
Right.
the cocoon, or we might burn down to the ground like a phoenix into the ashes. But you know what? We're going to rise again. Don't stay down there. Rise yourself up out of it.
Yeah.
Yes.
One
Fly
last
away
question.
with your beautiful, colorful wings.
One last question. If you saw your 12-year-old self now, what piece of guidance would you actually give her?
Ooh, good question.
It is, isn't it? I like to go deep.
Wow. Oh, I think my 12-year-old girl was a really strong cookie. She was really tough, but really, I think she needed some butter. She needed to add some butter. Uh, her cookie was crumbling cookie. And I think she became a nice shortbread cookie that goes awesome with cup of tea. So yeah, I think if I seen my 12-year-old girl myself, I would just like to say thank you to her for breaking the stigma, for breaking the cycles, for breaking the patterns. Because had it not been for that 12-year-old girl, the abuse would have happened longer and it could have been a lot worse than what it was. So yeah, I would just like to say thank you to my 12-year-old.
Yeah. Brilliant. Right. Any last words, Andrea?
Well, I think you brought a wonderful presence, Liz, to the show. And when it comes to that 12-year-old self, for me, I have to be able to say to her, everything you knew you could be, you will be. You are going to be. It's going to happen. And here I am on the other end of that, being the confirmation of everything that I dreamed I could be, I knew I could be. So I think my 12-year-old self was a strong being too. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. I agree. Right. That's it. That's a wrap. It's not end of the week. We've got another show happening this Friday, which is a brilliant show. I can't find a diary to tell you the name of the show, but Joey Kramer's on. About stories as well. Overcoming the stories we tell. That's it. And he's basically talking about how powerful our stories actually are. That's at Friday, 6 p.m. UK. So tune in for that, and we will see you next week. Back on Thursday, Andrea.
Yes, back on Thursday.
Back on Thursday.
Don't make me think today's Thursday because it's my Friday, but it's not because it's Wednesday. So, okay.
Exactly. Hey, today was a one-off. That's us. We're flexible with our guests.
Well, it's because Miss Liz has tea time on Thursday, so that's why we're here today.
Yeah, we've
Okay.
clashed
I'm
with
not
her show.
complaining.
We clashed with her show.
I'm glad we were able
Yeah.
to be here for it. Like Adam said, we're flexible. We work it out.
Right. Please share all, and we'll see you soon. Bye for now.